At least 4 people were killed and 6 injured when a small cargo plane crashed off the shores of Ivory Coast. The 4 dead were believed to be Moldovan citizens, while 4 French people were among those injured. The crash occurred during a storm accompanied by heavy rain and lightning. The airplane, reportedly carrying cargo for the French military, crashed into the sea shortly after takeoff at Abidjan airport in the south of the country. It broke into several pieces, coming to rest near the beach. A search and rescue operation is underway at the crash site.
Fire officials reported further headway on Friday against devastating blazes in Northern California's wine country. The death toll of 32, already a record for the state, might likely climb higher, with over 250 people missing. Even as firefighters gained enough ground for authorities to consider letting some of the estimated 25,000 evacuees return home, they were bracing for more hot, dry winds that could rekindle the inferno. Ground crews raced to remove highly combustible fuels adjacent to populated areas before extreme heat and winds revived.
US President Donald Trump struck a blow against the 2015 Iran nuclear agreement, choosing not to certify that Tehran is complying with the deal and warning it might ultimately be terminated. In a swipe at former President Barack Obama, Trump said the previous administration had been too lenient on Tehran and left the fate of the deal up to the US Congress.
We will not continue down a path whose predictable conclusion is more violence, more terror, and the very real threat of Iran's nuclear breakout.
Within minutes of Trump's speech, Iran's President Hassan Rouhani went live on state television. He said Trump's address was full of insults and fake accusations against Iran. The Iranian nation is not a nation that will yield to forceful talking and hateful speeches from a dictator. The Iranian nation will not surrender to any nation. EU Foreign Policy Chief Federica Mogherini says the deal cannot be unilaterally cancelled.
It is clearly not in the hands of any president of any country in the world to terminate an agreement of this sort.
In return for sanctions relief from 6 major powers in the EU, Iran accepted deep constraints on its nuclear program. Its current stockpile of enriched uranium, for example, has been drastically reduced. A Russian Progress cargo ship blasted off from Kazakhstan on Saturday and set off after the International Space Station to deliver nearly 3 tons of food, fuel and supplies to the crew.
And liftoff.
If all goes well, the Progress will fly a 2-day 34-orbit rendezvous, catching up with the space station early Monday.
Pressure is mounting on Catalan leader Carles Puigdemont. The latest intervention is from Spain's Interior Minister, who says the Madrid government will take control of Catalonia if he does not reply clearly to its question about whether he's declared independence from Spain. Puigdemont made a symbolic declaration of independence on Tuesday, only to suspend it seconds later and call for negotiations with Madrid. Puigdemont is not without support, though. We'd like to confirm our specific support for the president of the Catalan government to fulfill the mandate, which is to build the Catalan Republic, says the vice president. The Popular Unity Party, or CUP, on Friday called on Puigdemont to make an unequivocal declaration of independence in defiance of the Madrid government's deadlines. Today, we've decided to insist and insist again on the necessity and demand that Mr. Puigdemont signs off clearly, sharply and in a manner that's intelligible to the public that yes, the referendum must be proclaimed, and he proclaims it on Monday. Spanish Prime Minister Mariano Rajoy has given him until Monday to clarify his position, threatening to suspend Catalonia's autonomy if he chooses independence. Puigdemont faces a tough dilemma.
Former French Culture Minister Audrey Azoulay has been chosen as UNESCO's new chief. Azoulay edged Qatar's Hamad bin Abdulaziz Al Kawari after the fifth round of voting, and the decision will now be put forward for approval to UNESCO's 195 members on November the 10th. If I'm confirmed, the first thing I will do is work to restore its credibility, restore the faith of its members and its efficiency, so it can act on the challenges facing our world, because it's the only organization that can. A sudden announcement on Thursday that the United States was quitting over perceived anti-Israel bias meant that whoever wins the top job would inherit a body in turmoil, with huge questions over its future funding and mission.
Ahead of next week's 5-yearly Party Congress, in which Xi will further tighten his grip on power, China's ruling Communist Party has agreed to amend the party constitution, expected to embed President Xi Jinping's political thought. The party's Central Committee is the largest of its elite ruling bodies. On Saturday, it passed a previously announced proposal to amend the constitution, which will now be put to the Congress for formal approval. A lengthy communique released by the party via state media offered praise for the past 5 years under Xi's leadership.
E deporte na caminda, despesa de espaço comercial na continuação.